back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to make this top. So it's going to be a very quick tutorial. So you will see that I have my fabric folded into two. So you're going to have one color for the back panel and then two colors for the front panel. You see I went ahead and already ironed mine. In the meantime, the length I have here, including my seam allowance and everything for the whole top, is about 30 inches, right? So from the top here till the end, it's 30 inches that I have. You see is on a fold. So the back panel is going to be one color and then the front to be two colors. The two wrong sides are facing each other. So this is the wrong side, this is the wrong side, facing each other like this. So guys, once you place it, you notice the extension in front, which is 2 inches at the front panel, which is going to form our bottom placket. The way I folded this, you see that this is the center back here on a fold, right? So now I'm going to start drafting all my patterns starting from the end here. And then the width I have here is basically my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 12, plus 1.5, making it 13.5. That is the width here. That's the width of this one on top. The one in front is the same, but with extension of. We are going to start to insert our measurement. So we are going to start from the upper part here. So you're going to go ahead and insert your shoulder divided by 2. So all your measurements will start here. So your shoulder divided by 2, and for me that is going to be 8. Mark it here. And then I'm going to come down here by 1 inch of shoulder slope. Mark it here. And then after that, I'm going to insert my armhole, which you're going to get it by dividing your bust by 6 plus 1.5. And then you're going to mark it here. So connect it all the way to the top, like this. And then give it a curve like this. And then after that, you're going to go ahead and insert your bust divided by 4. Plus about 1.5, half an inch of ease, 1 inch of seam allowance. Come down and mark your shoulder to your waist, and then your shoulder to your hip. I'm going to go on the waistline. I'm going to insert my waist divided by 4. Whatever that is for you, go ahead and mark it. And then the same 1.5 of seam allowance. If you feel like your waist is quite small, like the curve of your waist might be somewhere here, let's say your bust is here and your waist is here, go ahead and add extra 1 inch to it so that the curve is not too deep. You understand? So I'm going to just go ahead and do my waist divided by 4 would have been 9. I added half an inch to it so that the curve will not be too deep. And now I'm going to add 1.5 of 1 inch of seam allowance and half an inch of ease. And then come down to the hip divided by 4. And then still plus the 1.5 that we're supposed to add. After that, you're going to go ahead and connect from your waist to your hip. The rest of it is going to be straight, and then from the waist to the bust all the way. And once that is done, the next thing we're going to do is to mark in the curve. So to add in the curve, you're going to measure from your waist, from your shoulder to so you're going to mark it, not this your waist, like the waist below, like where you normally pull pants, right? That is the waist I'm talking about. No longer this particular one here. The other waist down is where you're going to mark. Measure from your shoulder to that point where it's supposed to be. So it depends on you where it is you're going to mark it. So for me, I'm just going to go from the waist down here and just come down at least 4.5 inches. That should be okay for me. And then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a curve in like this. You can even go in deeper with your. So now go back up again to the neckline, and then I'm going to mark about 3 inches there. And then I'm going to connect the 1 inch of shoulder slope to this point. And then once it's done, you're going to come down for this one, the back panel, 1 inch of back neckline. And then for the front, I'm going to do 3 inch for the front neckline, which is somewhere here. But I'm not going to mark it at the back. I'm just going to hold it at this point and know that this is where it's supposed to be. My 3 inch for the back neckline, 1 inch for the back, 3 inch for the front. So now all we have to do is to go ahead and cut. I'm going to cut here into this side all the way into the armhole, shoulder slope 1 inch, and then the 3 inch. So guys, now that we've cut out everything, you see my two front panels here, and then the two one piece for the back panel. I wanted to show you guys something. So if you look closely at the neck, I'm going to screenshot it now so you can see. You will notice that there's this design on the neck like a band, but it's not really a band. So this is how we're going to recreate it. You will notice that I've gone ahead and traced out facing for the back. You see, it's exactly the collar, the neckline, and then it's about 3.5 inch all the way, right? So now this is the facing. Now the band thing is going to come in this one. You see what I'm using for it is just basically what I cut out for my sleeve. You see, just that part that I cut out, I placed it here. Now we'll go back again. It's on the neck, right? I'm going to go ahead now and cut out all the sides all the way. So now that I've cut it out, and I have two pieces of it here. I have two of it here. So now I'm going to shape it like to make it round. So this is it here. In case you cannot see, this is it here. So let me measure what I have so that I can tell you. It's about 3 inch here, 3 inch all the way. So I'm going to try to measure 3 inch all the way like this. You can do 2.5, right? So from this point to this point here, I'm going to make sure it's just 3 inch all the way. You see, it goes up all the way to the shoulder slope here. Everything is the same. This is what I have. So let me remove it so you can see. This is exactly what we have here. This here, and we're going to use it on this neckline. So you will notice that it looks something like this. So this is how I'm going to join it. I'm going to go to my sewing machine. This is the right side of my cloth, right? Like I said, the wrong sides are facing each other. This is my right side. I'm going to just take it the way it is now and remove one piece. Let me use this color to show you. This is my wrong side, right side. So this is the wrong side, this is the right side, right? The wrong side and the right side. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take this now, use the right side of my cloth, face it to the wrong side, sew this neckline, and then tilt it over. It will now come towards the right. You understand? This is it here. So you're going to take it right side facing wrong side. After that, use 1/4 inch, sew it all the way into the neck, and then iron it out. Once you iron it out like this, you're going to, once you join it like that, you're going to go in, tucking at least like 1/4 inch all the way around again on this edge here, and sew it to the shoulder. I think this might be too big, so I might still go back in and reduce it to 2.5. But I'll just check. If I feel like it's too much, I'll reduce it to 2.5 instead of 3 inch of width all the way. So guys, this is the shirt here. You see the design. So you see, the first thing I did is to go finish up the neckline like I told you. You see the parts where I hemmed it. So you're going to make sure to use about 2.5 here, or at least 2 inch. That is okay. Don't use 3 inch. Thing is going to be to turn it over here. You see that extra 2.5 that we left here, you're going to turn it like you're trying to hem your clothes with about 1.5, right? So this is basically what I did. Let's say this is the end of the cloth here. This is the end of the cloth. I just folded 1/2 inch first, and then folded it 1 inch and sewed it down. Finish turning over the upper part here. You're going to go ahead and fold this part here so that you make a placket for the button. You see, I also did the same thing on this other side. Folded it, and then once that is done, the next thing I did was to go ahead and hem the end of my clothes, each of them. So I hemmed this one separately, ironed it down, hem this other side separately, iron it down, hem this part from here all the way to this point, fold it into two like this, and then you're going to go ahead and measure 4 inches down from the top here, and then I'm going to connect it all the way to this point, halfway through. Give it a curve above, a curve below. Measure the width you want here. So let's say it's 7, and then you're going to add 1 inch of seam allowance. Connect it to this point. So the width I have here is your armhole divided by 2 plus maybe add 2 inches to it. It's better to have more than to have less, right? And then the length I have here is about 9.5, including my seam allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all the way to this point. So guys, once it's done, the next thing is to finish up the neckline. So when you want to finish it up, when you go to even join the shoulder of the front to the back, you're going to start from the edge That way you're going to leave half an inch. This half an inch is coming from the fact that you took some when you folded this part here, right? When we folded, remember we folded it all the way into the shoulder, right? So now the back, we've not taken away anything from it. So now to finish up the back, you're going to go ahead and get this your facing that we used before, that we cut before, right? You're going to place it on top of the shoulder like this. Now you're going to start, follow that same seam of the shoulder seam, come down, sew the neckline at the back, go back up to the shoulder part again, and continue into the shoulder like this. And once it's done, you're going to turn it over, and the back neckline is also done. You finish the facing. So that's basically it. And then after that, you're going to go ahead and add your button to one side, and then put buttonhole on this other, on this one, button on this one, buttonhole on this one, and that will be all. So guys, the next thing is going to be to add all the other things here. So I added my sleeve initially, but then I went back and saw that her sleeve has some design to it. You will not notice it because the color of her cara is quite nude, so that's why I lose mine. So now you will see how she did the design here. So this is it here. This is my sleeve. I have two of them here, two sleeves here, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is to make sure that at the end here, I'm going to cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off about half an inch at the end of this here. So I've marked it now. I'm going to cut it off, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to add to it. So once you cut it off, so if you cut half an inch on a fold, that means if you open it up, it's supposed to be up to 1 inch. You will see that mine is almost 1 inch too. So the next thing is going to be to get what you're going to use to join to it. So this is it here. This is mine. This here. So the width I used to cut this is about 2.5 inch is what I used for this here. So this is it here. So if you measure it, this is what I use, and then I cut it short. So this is about 2.5 inch, right? So what you're going to do is fold in half an inch on this side, fold in half an inch on this other side, and then fold the two of them together, and then you're going to make this, and then you're going to go ahead and cut this short about almost 1.75 is the length I have here. This is because the 0.75 is going to, 1 inch is going to be to replace back the 1 inch I took here. The 0.75 is going to be for my side, the seam allowance to tuck it inside, right? So this is how it's going to work. We're going to also go ahead and trace it out on a lining. So you see that it's now, I now have two of each. So I'm also going to cut out lining, two of each. That way I can use it. You're going to cut the lining exactly like the shape of this sleeve here. Two sleeves here, place it together. And then you're going to go ahead and mark the lines for where you're going to put this small piece here. So each time you're going to go ahead and mark, each time you mark the line, try to mark it on both sides. So I'm going to first keep half an inch at the beginning for joining my sleeve, and then I'm going to come down 1.5, mark another one, come down 1.5, mark the next one, come down again, mark the next one. Just like that, you're going to mark it. And once you're done, place everything like this. You're going to place each of them. You see, I've already finished this one, and when I did this here, I used 5 for it, right? This is what the inside looks like. I know this lining doesn't match, but I do, that's the only lining I have at the moment. So once it's done, the next thing is to get your lining. Once you've put it in, you're doing it one at a time. You're going to take this here, put it to the edge, use 1/4 of an inch to sew the end, and then cross over. So you see the chalk that I already marked here. Sew down here, cross over to this side. That's how you're going to do it. And once it's done, put your hand from here and flip everything out. Once that is done, we can go back in and do the second sleeve. So guys, this is it here. You see, I used about 1/4 of an inch to sew this side all the way to the end. So now if I turn it over like this, I just have to remove the pin I used in holding it down. Remove everything. And then you're going to take it the way it is now. Get the second sleeve like this. Place it, you see, I'm doing it right side facing each other. Place it the same point. Make sure you're starting from the beginning. The same point where the other one was is where I'm going to place this one. Then take my lining, cover it, and do the same method again. I'm going to go ahead and sew 1/4 inch all the way to the end, and then the same thing, close up the end 1/4 inch. Once it's done, I'm just going to flip it out, and that is it for the sleeve. So once you do that, you're going to have something that looks like this. And if you want, for me that I'm using a different color of lining, I can go ahead and top stitch it here all the way so that my lining doesn't come out. And then the next thing is that you're going to go ahead and put in the pockets. So you see the pocket I'm using here, I've already gone ahead and sewn it down. So this is what I have. So this is the upper part, and then this is the lower part. So for this one here, you see that I've already hemmed the upper part of this pocket here. I've hemmed the upper part. So the length I had initially was about 9.5 inch, right? So I just folded it in. So now after folding it, everything I have is about 8 inch by 7.5. And this the same thing for the upper part here. Before I even, this is also a one piece of cloth, right? But I just folded it into two, closed up this end, closed up this end. The width before I even used 1/4 inch to close it up, the same 7.5. But if I open it up like this one was 7.5 by 5 inches, right? So that when I fold it into two, I'm going to have 2.5 here, 2.5 here, and then I'm going to use 1/2 inch to sew it down so that it's going to overlap like this, and then I'm just going to have 2 inch here. 1/2 inch, the 0.5 is going to be to sew this down, so it's going to fall over like this, right? And then this one here, like I said, it's about 8 inch now after folding the upper part by 7.5. 7.5 because I'm still going to use the same 1/4 inch to tuck in the sides of the pocket like this and reduce it. So I think the size of this is still big, so I might go ahead and reduce it and make it about, I'll leave the width the way it is, but the length I might reduce it to 7 inches, right? And then how you're going to place the pocket is I'm going to come down from my shoulder by, the beginning of my pocket is going to start at 8 inch. The lower part of it is going to start at 8 inch, and then the upper part is going to fit in here. So center part by about 2 inch from the end of this here. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish it up. So guys, this is it here. You see I've finished everything, so all I have to do is just to iron it. You see my sleeve here, this is it here. So you see I've attached it. So at the upper part here, that's why I say just use after 1/2 inch, insert the next the first one. So all I have to do is this piece here coming from my sleeve, this seam allowance, all I have to do is just fold it in like this and top stitch it. You can even use bias to finish it up from the inside. And my buttonhole and my pocket here. So once you sew down your pocket, you're going to top stitch it on top of it like this, and that is it. I even went back and reduced the size of my pocket. So instead of 7.5, I used 7 inch width. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.